I think that's what the. Yeah. Not now. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Glens Falls Board of Public Safety meeting for Wednesday, July 8th. We have a forum today, and our first order of business is public comment. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the board? Hi. How are you? If you wouldn't mind. Let's just
Yes, my name is Erica Helmer, and I'm a resident of Glens Falls City on Notre Dame and Crandall. And we just moved here 3 years ago, but I think we met at the senior center. And just the concerns of the speed coming down or up, I guess, from Crandall, Notre Dame, that neighborhood, and up Crandall. And I know there's some stop signs, so a couple of things I was hoping is that could be maybe revisited about some additional stop signs going on Crandall. I know there are some already on the corners, but I think like Harrison, I know there's a couple that I don't know if that would be helpful. And then, we had talked, and I think we talked about maybe like radar and enforcement. I think some of the police have already been around doing some of that. Thank you so much. And I guess my concern being a nurse, we've lived there on the corner 3 years. I've seen some really scary near misses, but it's always hard to catch the person and the number. And I think the police officer was the same, problem. But I don't know. I just feel like I need to speak up.
So your concern is about speeding on Crandall.
Well, it's I guess Notre Dame and Crandall, because the school, sometimes when school's in session, you've got traffic coming quite fast down Notre Dame to Glen, between.
So that intersection.
Yeah, that's where I've just, there's been a couple of incidences. I know, again, my neighbors, there's some same, expressed concerns, but they had mentioned there was not a four-way stop, and now there is. I guess several years ago they put a four-way stop there, but I think it's just sometimes they get going so fast you don't really see it. So that was my main. And the other question I had was the corner of Sherman, I guess that's Sherman and Glen. When you're trying to cross at that intersection, would there ever be a chance of a pedestrian crossing thing there? There's, you have the lights, but I walk a lot downtown. So I was just thinking, is that anything? I know, if anybody has.
Just to clarify, there's no crosswalk there.
There's a crosswalk, but it's not like, I don't know that it's the busy by Stewart's, that main, I believe there's actually, I don't even know if there's an official crosswalk on some of them. I was just thinking like a cross, where you press like a button and people cross. I just know that's a scary one to cross.
I think, I think Aaron could give you an update on that.
So that intersection is actually one of three that the city is going to be pursuing traffic signal improvements at. So that intersection, Glen Grant and Ridge Sanford
Yep.
are all in the federal capital program. So those can be slow moving projects. They have a lot of external administration requirements, but the city has requested federal funding for those projects and got that approved so that those projects can move forward at the city's discretion. Traffic signalization improvements at Washington and Glen and Sherman should absolutely include some sort of pedestrian enhancements when the time comes. So I'm sure the engineers will be looking into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to address the board? You want to come on up?
Sorry, I missed it.
That's okay.
My name's Andrew Meunier. I just yesterday actually just submitted a comment to the website. I think Steve Pearson recommended I just stop by since the meeting was today. So I live in the 5th ward on Knight Street, and one thing I've been noticing because I walk in the neighborhood a lot is on Bush Street, which is kind of the primary way people access Howland Cove, I guess, from those neighborhoods and parts north and west. The place where Bush Street tees with Knight Street, there's a 4-way stop just to the west of that T. People stop there and then they kind of accelerate out of that intersection and take a quick right going down Bush. So pedestrians and cyclists who are walking like north on Bush on the west side, like they're kind of right in the line of traffic there. And I don't think that motorists are really expecting that because they just stopped for an intersection. They're kind of accelerating into that turn. The visibility isn't great. Yeah, so I just figured I'd reach out and mention I've noticed a couple kind of like near misses there and cyclists in the lane too. Sometimes that could be possibly a danger as well. So I don't really know what the fixes could be. I put a few things in my note. There could be ideas, but I just wanted to make people aware.
I live on Bush. I've almost been hit twice pulling out of Bush, and I'm driving a red convertible.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
The other part of the problem is on Haviland, the stop sign is too far back from the intersection.
Yeah.
They stop at the stop sign, they look, everything's great, and they come out. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, there's a car there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're looking at Bush and South and Knight.
Okay.
For traffic on Bush Street and Haviland's Cove. And the signage is going to be corrected hopefully too.
Okay.
So, but thank you.
Great. Yeah, it gets busy this time of year, so you start to notice it a little more, but appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
It's on the agenda.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you're settling in, but are you here for public comment to address the
Yeah.
board? Okay, you're welcome to come back up here.
Come back up. Don't get comfortable. You're sure.
Okay, I don't do.
Oh, is there anyone else
Yeah.
from the public? I think we've gone through it. Unless, did anyone else have something? No, okay.
So this is right about Goodwin Ave yet, or no? Oh,
No.
is that next or something? Isn't that happening today? Another read?
I think that's what Freedom's here.
Yeah, Frida had come and so it's wrong. Kind of, I can talk to you about it real briefly. It'll take me a second. If you would like to, that's not about here. If you would like to address the board like you're done.
Yeah, I think she plans to come back next month to address the board. But if you would like to address us now while you're here, feel free to.
I can certainly introduce myself.
Okay.
I'm Matthew Robinson. I recently purchased a house on Goodwin, in March, well, in April, I mean, sorry, before that. In February, moved in March. Very excited, happy to be here. This isn't the greatest thing in the world for me. Knowing that I just purchased a house and knowing some different things about what's going on, and the street closure certainly impacts the entire neighborhood, the entire street. Even just living there for a few months, I can understand that. I don't know anything about it at this point in time. Like I said, I'm really just coming into this.
Yeah, I want to clarify. Do you mean the no parking, not
Sorry,
street
not street
closure?
closure.
Okay,
Parking is-
yeah, okay, yeah.
And so I'm more on the side of trying to understand what has gone on and what is the conclusion that's come to. I don't know where, if the street was changed. I've heard different rumblings about that. I don't know if there was an alternatives analysis done to understand what the street could look like, what the street might accommodate for fire trucks, for access. Certainly knowing that, not having on-street parking is very detrimental to, property value. So moving into a brand new house, losing 2 on-street parking spots is basically, $15,000 a spot almost, off my property value. So that kind of beats down the whole street and the understanding of really trying to revitalize and uptick the downtown area, the closest to the city we can get. And that street is an important street. There's a lot of new buildings on there. There's a lot of new apartments that we want to get filled. We don't want no investment on that street. And we can tell that, without any parking, those apartments are not going to get any investment. So there's a whole level of that. And my understanding, I just don't understand fully what any type of analysis has been done or what has been looked at to where this was the conclusion that benefits all.
Okay, we're happy to follow up with
Yeah,
you.
no, I know. I'm not looking for
and give you some more information. We did receive a letter from another resident who lives on that street, and I was going to save it for the next meeting, but since this topic came up, I can read it into the record. It's just, this person says, I bought my house on Goodwin Avenue a little over a year ago. I received a note taped to my mailbox from a neighbor with a yellow home I've never met saying that there was a meeting today to discuss letting off-street parking back onto Goodwin. That said, I just want you to know I'd like to keep the law as it is. I don't think it would be smart or safe to allow street parking on Goodwin. There are a lot of children that play there. The street isn't wide enough for the garbage trucks or emergency vehicles with off-street parking. Please keep the law the way it is. Thank you. So it sounds like there might be different opinions from different people. We're happy to talk with you about the history, but there was a law that was passed to make it no parking due to safety, like a year ago about.
It was passed in 2024, but I
Couple
think it
years ago.
changed. It took a little while to actually get it changed, but it was passed in 2024.
It's interesting to understand what went on there. Because there seems to be a lot of benefit to the housing that was put on there. And the apartments that are there, they're not losing anything. And there seems to be a lot of benefit put towards access to safety for them. This access is not for my house. There's really should be a fire truck that fits down that street to get to my house. That's not my problem. But when you accept all those other apartments, and then to the detriment of the other people that live there, that's what I'm wondering. And I'm wondering what analysis was done on this as to maybe moving the electrical poles. I mean, there's ways to do things. Do we need 2 sidewalks? I don't know. Can there be permit parking? Is there limited parking? Is it the whole street? Maybe there are some spots that don't allow parking. What was done to understand any of this and I can't find any information on that.
Those are great questions, and I don't know the answer because I'm new to the board. But let's look into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can follow up with you. And I think we can also talk about it at the next meeting, when Frida wanted to come back and have it on the agenda so that we can share all this information.
She just let us know and it
Yeah.
helps you.
Yeah. Okay,
All right, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Let's get back to what you're doing.
thank you.
We're listening to people.
I know too.
Would you like to address the board? Is there any other public comment? What was that? Anybody here? Everyone else has already talked, so I'm looking in this direction because you all just walked in. Would you like to address the board or?
Part of the application.
Okay, okay. We can wait until we get to your item. Is there anyone else before I move on from public comment? No? Okay. All right. We will move on to our consent agenda. Are there any items from the consent agenda that we would like to pull for discussion?
3, please.
3.
3.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, the 3-5.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's start with 3.
Police 3 was the request for the Flandreau Avenue block party The diagram showed X's in the middle of the block, and their application stated that they wanted to close off a part of it. Do we do that? Do we close off mid with barricades mid-block? Would seem to be the logical thing, which is to be extend those barricades to the end of the street. Also, both sides of Flandreau are serviced by alleys, making this a better street than a typical one to be able to close off in its entirety. Can we send that as kind of a condition of the closure that, yeah, you can do it? Please move those barricades to the end of the road on each side of the block. That way you don't have people turning in from Sanford, getting a half block up the road and then having to do a U-turn when they encounter a barricade.
That seems reasonable to me, just,
That's good.
Yeah. yeah,
That's a better picture.
okay. So we would be amending, let's see. We would be approving the road closure for the August 8th Landrew Avenue block party with the condition that the entire block be, or the entire street
Seems safer to me.
be closed off rather than,
Barricades be at Mason and at Sanford.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So we can amend that.
Yeah.
All right. And then the next item for discussion was 3.5, and that is the Wolfsgard event. Hi, yes, come on over.
Hello, my name is Anthony Fitzsimmons. I'm the founder and creator of the Will's Card event. We've been doing this event up in Burlington, Vermont, where it originated. Started back in 2010. We've been doing this event for 15 years. And unfortunately, but fortunately now, we kind of lost our venue. The venue that we were doing at Champlain Valley Expo, they decided to go in a new direction. And but we were feeling like, hey, Wolfsgard needs a new chapter anyway. So we looked all over the East Coast, the Northeast, and everywhere. And I am a local. I live over in Sarasota County. I figured, hey, why not give it a try in this region? So it's always been kind of a dream anyway, to create something where I can connect the three major town cities in this area. That's Glens Falls, Queensbury, and Lake George. And so we decided to create a new chapter for Wolfsgard, and we're calling it Wolfsgard Adirondack. So it connects all these three beautiful areas. And we are known for a multi-day event that spans out to almost a full week. And with that, we have different off-site events. We work with different businesses. I'm a big pusher of small business. I love connecting, I love networking, and I love having people really experience what these businesses have to offer. So, and architecture, arts, entertainment, amusement, you name it, parks, everything. So, and of course, accommodations. For many years, we created an event called the Air Out event, and we did this in Winooski, which is the sister city to Burlington. We would shut down streets in Winooski, a couple blocks, and we would showcase this beautiful display of European vehicles, hand-selected by our team and displayed on the streets. And what it would do is create kind of an experience and bring a little bit of that car show feel that we have at the main event to an area in a different setting. And so when we were really considering this area, we felt, hey, Glens Falls would be ideal for the Air Out. So I'm requesting road closures for South Street. I see the vision in South Street. I've been a big fan of Glens Falls for years. I used to have a studio space years ago for a short period of time over at the Shirt Factory. Back then, 2007, there was always amazing talk about how Glens Falls could be the next great big thing. And I know it's been taking a long time, but I feel like it's getting there. It's amazing what the city has transformed into. The people here are very open. The businesses are all about networking and connecting and community, which I love. And I think it'd be a perfect fit for what we're known for with this Air Out event. So we're requesting to shut down South Street, and we're also going to be using the Ed building. We're going to showcase our high-end cars in the Ed. These are very beautiful vehicles that we consider our alpha class. It's our top 50 to 100 cars. We're not going to fit 100 cars in there. It'll be a selection. We're looking to possibly fit around 150. I did kind of map things out. We might be able to fit up to 200 cars, but we're going to give ourselves kind of that 150 goal, and giving ourselves a good buffer. So if we do have more space, we will fill out the areas. Once we're full, we're full. We'll be using all the public parking areas to offer for general public parking, general spectators. This is a free event. We want the community. We want Glens Falls, the city of Glens Falls. We want everybody around, and there's going to be people from all over the Northeast that are going to be at this event. My goal is to connect them with Glens Falls. My goal is to connect them with all the restaurants, the breweries, the bars, the brew house, everything. The stores. Yesterday I spent my afternoon. I went to every single business on South Street to introduce myself. A lot of positiveness from the folks. They're saying, "Wow, this is great. We're looking for this. We want the attraction and the focus to be on South Street." So I can help with that by creating this event and kind of put South Street, Glens Falls on the map, especially with our demographics, our audience. If you're wondering what our age group, we range anywhere between your 20s to 50s, 60s, we have it all. There is definitely a younger demographics that come to our event, but it's open to everyone. You will see a mix of classic. We're known for European, German. You'll see a mix of classic Volkswagens, classic Porsches, European cars, German cars, British cars, but you'll see a lot of modern cars, new technologies, ways that these kids and these folks are enhancing their vehicles. So we also are very respectful crowd. We don't like the riffraff. We don't like, we are very chill events. We respect our communities when we want people obviously to respect us.
Well, thank you for your interest in bringing your event here. This board is really just here to determine the safety of the event. So does somebody have the updated request for closures?
Yeah.
Because what I have is the previous,
Or
what are the streets that are being requested to be closed? South Street, I heard,
South Street and Elm Street. South and Elm.
South Street and Elm Street.
Yeah.
The pedestrian here. Oh, just what's on this map.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yep, so just South and Elm.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Okay.
Yes, Anthony, could you tell us about you have alcohol check here. Who's policing that? Where's it coming from?
So what we're asking is if we can have a open container rule, so we can work with the local, and there's a new place opening up tonight, the local bars and restaurants, so folks can feel comfortable being able to enjoy a drink. That's all. We're not bringing alcohol ourselves, and I'm not bringing food trucks either. I really want to connect with the restaurants.
Sounds good.
Yeah. In the past, that has been something that the restaurants there have appreciated. If we're going to close the street, then they can participate in the event.
My question is a matter of logistics, and I guess I would defer to more experienced participants on this board. Are these roads that we have much experience with logistically shutting down? I mean, this isn't another thing in the park where we're closing Bay and Maple as a matter of routine. These are different. We've got an active construction zone here. Is that fencing going to be gone at that point? Is that connection going to be open? Just again, are we prepared to handle closing these particular components of the network? And I'm not saying we're not, I just don't know if we have any experience with this particular closure. And not to nitpick, but are these cars being angled in forward, or is this back in angle parking?
Back thing, but
Okay, so that's gonna take some time.
It does take time.
Yeah.
So we are, we definitely want we're looking at Pine Street or because you have different roads. We definitely want to deflect the traffic off the main road, especially if the cars are being parked. We will have a team that will know which cars are allowed into this area. These cars will be pre-selected. They will have stickers on them that will say, hey, they're part of the air out event. And they will, I was, couple plans, that's why I have it there, like trying to figure out which entrance would be ideal. Either coming in through Elm Street on the north side or coming in through Elm Street on the south side, or coming in through South Street down by the west side, I guess you would call it,
Yeah.
where the Ed is. Making sure that we're not dealing with a major vein of traffic, because I know around that time is rush hour. And I have come here many times at that time, just literally park my car on the side of the road, just observe. And you have a major lane, vein of highway traffic coming on Glen Street. Everybody's trying to get over that bridge. So as long as we can keep it where we can deflect these cars on Elm Street or Pine Street off the main roads, we can bring them in. And then the folks that are not involved, we say, hey, these are the parking areas. We will let everybody know all the different parking garages and parking lots.
I think you raised an interesting consideration here, the time of day, Friday afternoon. How are these spaces even going to be available for you to close out?
Right.
Where are we putting all the downtown workers that are already there, or the customers, or anybody who might already have taken advantage of street parking as a matter of routine on Friday afternoon?
When you do this, do you typically have an emergency lane up through the center of
We
the
do.
cars?
Yes, on our map, we will have a center lane, which is our fire lane. And then on Elm Street, we're only going to park cars on one side of it. It's on either, this way there is the fire lane.
So it would be just the pedestrians that would be a concern then, right?
Pedestrians would be using the sidewalks, and then obviously they're on the road. But yes, we would ask them if there's any emergency, please make sure you get onto the sidewalks.
Could we
do
not
use
put
lot-
up signs prior to the event indicating parking is excluded after a certain time on that day?
Correct. So what we've done in the past is that when we worked with Newski, they would send a message out and they would they had actual meters. Do they still have the meters?
Yeah, those meter bags.
Meter bags. So they bag meters and then they would let people know at 12 p.m. The street is shut down, no more parking on the street. We're requesting if that can be done as well. This way around 2 p.m., majority of those cars are not there. If there's, one or two or three cars still, we'll do our best to work around them. But yes, we're going to need to make sure that the street knows that there is an event going on early enough so these folks have enough time to move it.
You used the word riffraff. Are you going to provide your own security to keep those lovely riffraffs away?
We have our team, and I am working with a security company as well, but our team is a very well team that I have, where we all have radios. We make sure that people follow the rules. If not, we're out of here. That's how we are. We have a no tolerance rule, basically.
Okay.
Too much work for one or two people too much.
In Winooski, we did have a little.
Correct. We did have,
Then we just stand.
correct. They did. When you had their own police department, they would, just kind of walk the streets and make sure everything is good out there.
I was gonna say, we also, to your question, we do have some experience with closing South Street. We did it last year for that street event. Were there any safety concerns? I know there was an incident that required an emergency vehicle to get there, and you got there, yeah.
The difference with this one, and that's why I asked about the emergency lane, is I think he's talking all the way to Glen
Yeah,
Street.
Longer stretch of it, yeah,
A longer stretch, and we also have the construction going on.
yeah.
Apartments. And all that stuff.
Mhm.
As long as we can please somebody get up through the night.
Mhm.
Correct.
Are there any police concerns regarding
What
that?
day of the week were we talking, please?
Friday afternoon.
I have a quick question, just as far as, I'm just thinking about coming from Broad Street. If you're coming from Broad to South, you're gonna have to make that cut to get, I almost wonder if it makes more sense to shut off at Pine. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if you can make a right turn
Right.
there, can you?
I know.
Yeah, so you would have to shut off at Pine, right? You know what I'm saying? You'd have to make that cut, and I don't think you're allowed to, so
Yeah.
you'd have to shut off at Pine Street. But that might be better, because then you're pushing them right to Glen versus, you know what I mean, or to Hudson.
The last one, I think it was, that stopped at.
At Pine,
Yeah.
okay,
What's the event stopped at that intersection?
right, more person for cars.
Basically just emergency vehicles and that.
She's right, though. I think that right turn from
You
Broad.
can't make a right,
Drive is south.
right, and it pushes everybody to Hudson and Glen anyway, so that kind of might,
To it, right, the network, that
Yeah.
deviate too.
Okay, that's a good
Right.
point. Yeah.
like,
One thing we talked about yesterday, I spoke with, Mr. Fitzsimmons yesterday. There is the one private parking lot behind the New Way Lunch, and on the New Way Lunch that, I don't know how we manage that to empty that space, like 2 o'clock, and then we shut the space down. Like, yeah, does that make sense? We've got a parking lot that is not controlled by the city.
Correct.
And I don't know how we clear that space out, how we work with that to make sure there are no cars there, or else you're gonna have somebody leaving at 4 and driving right down the middle through.
Right. I work in Empire Theater, and even
Right.
on a Friday afternoon, that
Right.
lot is aggressively monitored by the folks that have access to it.
Yeah.
So I did walk there yesterday. I saw the parking lot. It's right behind the New Way Lunch. Yes, I stopped there as well. I'm actually going to be talking to them again today. There's cars in there. I mean, I don't want to take away anything from the village either. The city. I don't want people feeling like, hey, wait, I live here, or, work here. So if there are cars parked in there, we're not going to use that park. If there are cars parked in there, that's fine. If when they leave, we will direct them down the street through our fire lane, gate lane, our gateway. We always have to have a lane because we need to park the vehicles. And we do have people that all of a sudden say, hey, I'm good. I want to leave. And then if somebody wants to leave and we have some people that would like to showcase their car, we do give an option. We just have them contact us. We radio in and I let someone know, hey, we have 2 spots open, direct them in, we'll park them. So we try to be very, very flexible, very accommodating. We don't want to interfere with anybody's business routines or anything. I want to bring more business, but I also don't want to overwhelm businesses either. So if there are cars in that parking lot, that's fine. I'm gonna keep that open anyway. That's called the driveway into that parking lot. We're not have any cars in front of that. That'll have its own kind of freedom to come and we go. And then we're fine with it.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Oh, yes.
What's your experience with like everybody leaving at the same time? Does your team help with?
So what happens is it starts to dwindle down as the sun goes down. Things start to dwindle out. People start to leave. You'll have groups of people. You have 1 or 2, and then you'll have large numbers. We say 9 p.m. roads open. By 7:30, people really start to kind of head out. 8 o'clock, majority are still out. The only ones you'll still see on site are the folks that probably went out and had some dinner, maybe over at one of the restaurants here in the city, and their cars parked there. We just make sure that they come and get their cars. They're not going to leave their cars because these cars are really nice, expensive vehicles.
So the request was to close the entirety of, or a big stretch of South Street. And with your comment, Emily, you're saying maybe we should limit it at Pine.
well, it would, so where's Broad? So it would go over here, so where South Street connects with Broad Street,
Mhm.
go to Pine.
Mhm.
Yeah, because when you go down Broad, you can't make that right turn anyway, so you're right,
So extend it.
to Pine, so then you're shipping people down Pine towards Glen or Pine to Hudson,
Okay.
which probably makes a little more sense traffic wise.
So if we amend the proposal
Mhm.
to include that, are there any further concerns?
Do we want to put a barricade on School Street too, from Hudson? I mean, they're not gonna be able to go anywhere except left.
They can make the left turn, yeah.
Just gonna be driving around.
in circles.
Yeah. School has residences. I assume you, but.
And you can park in school. I don't know if you want to limit,
School does
you
have.
limit all the parking going down to the bottom. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's a parking lot.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I wonder.
Oh, yeah, it's got a lot.
Mhm. Oh, so it sounds like the concern with putting a barricade would be that some people would have to get to
Right.
their houses,
get
and
to
also
the
some people might park on that street, so, okay. All right, so if we approve, if we leave the resolution to approve the street closing, amending it to extend to Pine, any other concerns regarding that?
I had a question.
Sure.
This looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I would definitely show up myself. I do have a couple of questions, though. Awesome Motive LLC, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. And, do they have insurance? I didn't see a certificate.
Yes,
Yep, we know it.
yes, we emailed it to Amy Collins. She has,
I think it came in today.
okay, yes,
And it names the city as an additional insured?
yes, and we also put the ed as
Oh, good. That's all I have.
well. No,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, so Emily, you've taken note of the amended language for both the items we discussed, right? Okay, so then given that, the two changes we made to 3.3 and 3.5, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve with the changes we made.
Okay,
Second that.
second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we are approved.
All right.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
so we'll go to new business. There is a resident that is concerned about her children who have autism. She would like signs placed warning drivers on her street. I think she had reached out to Steve, is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah,
And this is somebody who I think originally had maybe brought this to Board of Public Safety last year. And then, I think it just got dropped. Right.
So I looked into this. This is interesting because I wasn't familiar with that particular signing. It's not in the federal manual of uniform traffic control devices, but there is a New York State exception for it. And I don't know if anyone else looked into the rules regarding placement of this sign. You can use it. You can't use it independently. It needs to be a supplement to a pedestrian sign. So you need one of those signs that shows just a generalized walking person symbol. And then if you have one of those, or you install it in conjunction with this children with autism sign, then you can use it.
Like
I-
underneath it on. the same-
Yeah, like a double sign, basically. I was out in the neighborhood today looking at some of the existing signing, which if you look anywhere around here, you will find out of code, out of date signing. There's a children at play sign down there. Those aren't generally supported by the MATC. So I think you can make, and there's a number of pedestrian generators. I don't know exactly where this individual is on Montcalm. I don't know if anyone has her address, but you know, Montcalm Park is there, the youth center is there. You can probably make a fairly sound argument for installing that sign cluster, given the presence of kids on bikes and walking around in that neighborhood. But it is legal, provided that you pair it with that other sign.
So how do we make it happen?
Do we know what number it is?
I don't.
Any idea? I should probably find the email. Minutes.
Yeah,
That would just be sign placement.
I have the same question as Larry. Like, what type of authorities does this board have to,
Make it happen.
Right.
do we ask DPW to consider it, or do we state, do we?
if you
issue-
feel that it would be in the interest of the safety, you can approve it, and then we can direct DPW to put the signs up. Yeah. Mhm.
I have a son with autism, so I'm biased. I approve it.
There's no address.
Okay, so you're in favor, and does anyone else?
So it would be pedestrian and the autism,
Yeah, they have
same sign.
they have sign numbers.
On the sign, on the same pole.
Same pole,
Yeah.
maybe one in each direction.
Sounds
I don't
good.
know exactly where. That's probably open for some professional interpretation from the
Mhm.
people that might be installing it.
So this is an item for discussion, and I think what we could do is talk with DPW and look into the signs and then bring it back at the next meeting with
Which one it should be on.
where we would put it and what sign specifically. Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's-
just not being clear
yeah,
on what
yeah.
action we should be taking.
Right. So,
If you find out where she lives,
yeah.
that might be
Yeah.
helpful.
so,
Yeah, get a street address, 'cause that might help influence the placement.
but we just wanted to get whether you wanted us to continue getting more information, and it sounds like you're looking somewhat favorably, but we need to clarify,
So
right?
supportable.
Okay, great. So we'll do that work before the next meeting. And then the next item is a traffic concern. Discussion of a crosswalk at Crandall and Horicon. So Marty Newell came to see me. She lives in the house, as some of you know, that's right there, right? And her concern is that while there is a stop sign on Horicon, many people blow through it. And there is no indicator that says stop for the pedestrian walkway that comes out of Crandall Park. And there are a lot of children that just kind of fly through on their bikes. So she wondered if we might want to put a stop sign for the bikers exiting Crandall Park, like a stop look or something, some sort of thing to encourage them to slow down. And she asked if there was any way we could light up the stop sign that's on Horicon at that intersection. Or anything else that we could think of to make it more prominent.
So what she's requesting is known as a conspicuity enhancement.
Okay.
An interesting word to an existing street sign.
Mhm.
These are permitted. You can put red LED flashers around the exterior of a stop sign. You could put a bigger stop sign there. You could pair the stop sign where you put the exact same sign on the opposite side of the road. So you see one on your right and one on your left as you're approaching vehicle. I understand what she's saying about people coming out of the park and entering the roadway sometimes unannounced, but not unique phenomenon of that neighborhood is that you can look north on Crandall or you can look south on Crandall. And if you're looking anywhere between Lincoln and Coolidge and Horicon, you will see somebody blow the stop sign at full speed.
Blowing them all in the city. Yeah.
It's a matter of routine out there. So I think that I get wanting to manage the bikes and peds, but we need to start calling more attention to those intersections because again, these conspicuity enhancements are available. It's a matter of engineering judgment. You don't necessarily have to meet a warrant to say, well, you had 500 vehicles per day at this intersection and only X number of instances. You don't have to do those types of things to consider the enhanced visibility treatments. She noted the crosswalk was a little faded. It is, but we certainly have worse. But there's other crosswalk treatments you can consider, or boldly delineated crosswalks that would help call attention to that being fairly active, non-motorized
Is
intersection.
this another issue we consult with DPW about?
There's a lot of options here for them to consider. Yeah.
I mean, I think we would have to look into the cost for all these enhancements too. Do you have any sense?
I don't.
No?
We don't.
Okay.
Implementation.
What about the sign though? Is that a common thing to put a sign for bikers or
Yeah, I would imagine you could probably
Just to
look into
slow
something
down.
like the Empire State Trail design guidelines and see what type of signing they use for their system. That'll probably give I'm guessing you don't need a full MUTCD size stop sign for a sidewalk approach. Like you don't need a full roadside, I'm guessing. But I don't know what the standard is, but there are standards out there that are pretty accessible.
I ride an e-bike. It's dangerous for riding an e-bike with the other bicyclists because they don't stop.
Mhm,
They blow through the stop signs. They blow through the red lights.
mhm. So I do see what you're saying, that's not just a problem there. you could find it in many places, but that is a unique intersection because it's the entrance and the exit, or one of them, to Crandall Park. There used to be, I don't know if you remember, a long time ago, poles, and those were taken out, and I think now people go through faster. So,
Another thing I noticed while I was out there today, again, back to the non-standard signing, there's some very squirrely, homemade looking park crosswalk or park entrance crosswalk in dark green signs that are just, doesn't look good. Yeah, you probably want a retro reflective, bright green crosswalk sign with an arrow pointing right down on it, maybe in place of those existing signs, so you're not adding to the sign clutter.
those are our signs you're referring to?
They must be.
Or are
They're
they
on the
the-
north side of the street. They say park entrance crosswalk in all bold letters
On Horicon?
on Oregon.
Okay.
And yeah, those aren't
Okay.
anything close to being code
Okay.
compliant.
Okay.
The cost to enhance the visibility of the crosswalks would be minimal, I would think.
I meant like the stop signs. Isn't that what you were initially
Yeah,
referring
that's
to?
one of the things you can do. That might be the more costly thing. I think the easy thing would be, and again, I'm
crossing.
speculating on effectiveness, would be the paired stop sign, one on each side with the enhanced crosswalk. I think that's, to me, that would be where you might consider starting rather than electrifying a stop sign. You'd probably have to get solar for that, and I can see where costs could come into that equation pretty quickly.
Okay, so paired stop signs and then light up the crosswalk and look into trail standards for signs to stop, to warn people to slow down and look and stop.
The crosswalk signing is out of date.
Mhm.
One interesting other consideration, not applies this discussion, but I saw an example of a V crosswalk where they came to the same point, with this point being the sidewalk entrance right at Newell's. Then one sidewalk went this way and one sidewalk that way to the opposite side of the street, which is another opportunity again to call out the visibility of the intersection. Unfortunately, the sidewalk on the north or on the south side of Horicon, on the west side of that intersection is a sidewalk to nowhere. It doesn't go all the way down the street, but it does. There is a sidewalk there. You could technically establish a crosswalk going this way and going that way, which would really enhance the visibility of it. But kind of a non-standard treatment. I'm not sure how.
Well, the city would probably look to your office to give us advice on this, since, so if you want to, I don't know if you're able to or have the time to prepare like a recommendation for a best practice to address this and give it to us, that would be helpful.
We could certainly do that as long
Yeah.
as we don't have a sense that that may be some sort of interest conflict. But
I don't think so. I think you would just maybe not vote on the,
okay,
whether people accept it or not, because Aaron's office is the GFTC, which stands for Greater.
Adirondack Falls Transportation Council.
Yes, okay. So,
So
because DPW are not traffic experts, they can make the signs or.
and neither am I. So
But-
we have some. We have access to some.
Yeah, I mean, if we were looking for that kind of advice, we would probably reach out to you,
Right.
to your office. So that's what I'm saying. Do you want to, are you willing to do that? And then we can bring it back forward with a recommendation?
I'm wondering if we need a formal request. If that's what this is, then
You mean that you want me to email you instead of formally requesting it now?
I'm wondering if I need that.
Okay,
Probably
I can
not.
send you an email.
Let's
Sure.
try it.
Okay,
Let's try it.
okay, perfect. All right.
It won't be me that's insisting on the documentation. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. Great, so let's do that. And then the next one is, let's see. A discussion on the no parking sign on Maple and Keenan. Would it be possible to get a sign stating no parking here to corner on the pole on the corner of Maple and Keenan? This is a bus stop location. It is almost impossible to get out of Keenan Street. on the nights of the Shirt Factory food truck event, is what they're saying. So it's no parking here to corner. Any thoughts on that?
There's nothing unique about that location other than the bus stop.
Mhm.
And I don't know that the hours of the Shirt Factory food truck corral directly conflict with peak transit operations. I think those things might be two distinct issues there.
What's the motivation for the no parking sign?
I believe she stated in the letter that getting out of Keenan Street was difficult with cars parked in
I
that.
think it's cars parked and then the buses stopped. That's probably the idea.
Did you also speak to this person, Steve? No.
Yeah, this was the one I was trying to find in my email. I don't
Okay.
have it out. I'm searching just like what I got.
I forgot, is Keenan one way?
Yeah, it's one way north.
It's one way north towards Maple.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I guess in that context, there might be an enhanced level of difficulty making that left because you're on that side of the road
Right,
rather
right.
than the opposite
right.
side. So maybe that's contributing to the concern.
I'd have to take a walk. I can't visualize it at this point.
I mean, depending on how close it is, it already might be against vehicle traffic law, because you can only park so close to an intersection. I think it was a 25 feet. So depending on how close it is to the corner, it might not even necessarily need to be
That was my
a
thought.
local law. It could just be a sign put up because it might already be against the traffic, you know.
I think one thing that might be complicated.
I just don't know how
with
close
that
it
is
is.
That's the side of the park, that's the side of the road that we're allowing parking on with the changes that came with the bike delineation. With
Mhm.
causing the residents some aggravation.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So
yeah.
those two things, you're not supposed to be there anyway.
Anyway,
We're saying you can park on that side of the road might be
yeah.
conflicting with one another.
So where are we gonna leave it?
Well, it sounds like, Emily, you're saying we'd have to measure it's 25 feet, you said?
20 or 25.
25.
Yeah, you technically can't park 25 feet within a corner anyway, so if the pole is within that area, you wouldn't necessarily need a resolution or a local law because it's already
You're right.
against vehicle traffic law, so you could just put up a sign.
Okay, so we can check on that, and if it is not, then it would be something we would have to actually decide if it's worth changing the law versus if it is, we can just put signage up.
And I hate to be too negative about it, but if their big source of aggravation is food trucks, that's probably not gonna stop anybody from parking there. It's what we've seen that neighborhood at that time of day.
Yeah.
It's tough to park anywhere.
Okay.
Who's gonna physically go out and measure this?
That would probably be an Ed, the sign
sign
guy.
Yeah.
He's the sign
You know
guy.
a guy?
I know a guy. I know a sign guy. Yeah.
I mean, looking at that intersection on my Google Maps, the only pole that's there is on Maple Street and it's about 10 feet off of Keenan on Maple. There's no, if he wants to put it on my telephone pole, which I don't think we can.
She says on the pole on the corner of Maple and Keenan.
I wonder if it's the pole for the bus stop. It might be. Because that probably wouldn't be on your Google Maps, because that's all new.
Would be new.
Yeah, so I mean, not that I don't think we could put it on there anyway, but that's probably what they're thinking of, is my guess.
So why don't we try to follow up with the
Figure it out.
constituents and get clarity on their request, and then we can ask our employee from DPW to check on the distance. And get back to you. Does that sound
Okay.
okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Then discussion of traffic on Bush and South Street. And this is Commissioner Clancy.
I'll take this approach. Did you have a chance to read the report?
Yeah. I did.
I don't want to read something you've already read.
No.
You have questions?
I did a 2-minute research on speed bumps in New York State. It's basically a local law that we can do ourselves. I mean, I think that's something that we should take a look at.
Okay.
I mean, they don't have to be a speed bump. You can do what would that be called?
There's speed bumps, there's speed humps.
Speed
Speed
humps.
humps may not be all that different from a speed.
That's,
Are you talking about when you say there's speed bumps or there's the one kind that are more like depressions in the street?
No.
No.
How abrupt the bump is. Like a speed bump is something you would find like in a private parking lot or in a garage.
Like a certain width, like 3 feet wide or something.
A speed hump is what you have on Fire Road.
fire road.
Like the raised crosswalk and the other hump that got paved over. What that was a speed hump.
Yeah.
There wasn't two.
Well,
I always think about DPW snow plowing with speed
Right.
bumps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
put a sign for them, watch out for the bump.
There's also removable speed bump.
Right.
Correct. Assistant Chief Padron changed me just as I came into the meeting to let me know we did get statistics from the radar trailer, which I did not have, and I haven't looked at. Do you want to just report what the trailer activity showed for the 2 weeks?
I put it from the 15th on, because that's when the date changes to the 20-mile-an-hour zone after there. So I went to 20 miles an hour from the 15th on a 7-day window, going through. It counted a total of 4,101 vehicles. It gave an average speed in that area of 20.9 for all the vehicles that went through. And then it gave me a breakdown of in 15-minute windows of how many vehicles went through and what the average speeds and whatnot were. I just got the ability to figure out the reports, literally clicking on buttons right up to the point where I came upstairs. So I've been trying to decipher everything and fully understand everything. The radar trailer works is that it takes multiple pictures and it actually recognizes whether the cars are slowing down on the approach or if they're staying consistent. So there's a peak speed and an average speed, and then it correlates all that into the data and it shows you the drops of how many cars are actually slowing down versus how many stay consistently going through.
Does it show the outliers above the 20 or whatever?
It'll tell you how many went above it. It'll give you a speed range and tell you like one car I think was between 50 and 55. And that was the highest vehicle in that range, and then it dwindles down from there.
Was the radar trailer able to record if the car's going the opposite direction?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even try to decipher this yet.
Yeah, it's quite lengthy. It's actually, I can break it down into 15-minute intervals, 30-minute intervals, and again, like I said, I just got the program installed on my computer at like 3:30, so I was literally printing reports and trying to figure it out on the phone with tech support as we were coming upstairs.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut right to the chase. Based on your experience and what you've read in this report so far, is it a problem?
I think that there's a huge increase in traffic, especially on this time of year. I did go back a little bit in some of the other regions just to see how much traffic increases after summer, like school's out and people are around. And Chief Davin and myself spoke about it, and we were in favor of the idea of speed bumps. We thought that would be appropriate or something like that.
Okay.
Larry, one of the metrics that the engineering community uses for this is something called 85th percentile speed.
Good.
It's on there.
Yep.
Okay. So that's a statistic you're looking for. That's
Yeah, we had a long conversation yesterday,
okay.
and I won't go into all of that, but I accepted the fact that I was walking into this meeting with no statistics when I wrote the report yesterday. And I said I wasn't gonna throw anybody under the bus. He walks in and he has it, So why did I didn't throw him under the bus?
You can throw me under those. When we got the radar trailer, initially StoreTech set the radar trailer up. And they were working on patching it through into the same camera system that's throughout the city. So StoreTech wanted us to be able to just go onto the camera system and have that give all the data with them. There's been a restructuring in StoreTech. The person that was doing that didn't just do that any longer. StoreTech wasn't familiar with it. I had to get other people on the phone to try to figure out passwords and logins and accounts. I was able to access, there's actually a laptop on the radar trailer. I was able to get the Excel sheet from that, but then when I put it onto Excel on my computer, it didn't make sense to actually have the program to give me all percentiles and numbers.
Were you able to download for South Street yet?
I have it all downloaded on my desk. I just haven't been able to compute it into that yet.
But it sounds like you're saying that you do recommend you and Chief Diamond.
Yeah, we spoke about it. We thought speed bumps would be appropriate in that area. Certainly, the fact that there's no sidewalks down through there and the concerns that the residents are having, I think it would be appropriate to try to put some sort of device in there to slow cars down.
I gave 8 or 9 remedial actions we could take, sort of like a à la carte menu.
Yeah.
Some are more important than others. What I found fascinating was when I was trying to figure out why people were going down South Street and going down to North Tremont, coming over to Bush, they couldn't find the park. When you come down Staple Street, there's a sign that says Haviland's Cove Park and then push it to the left. But there's not another sign that says go down Bush. So if people who aren't in the area just keep going down Night, get to South Street, head down the street, and now they're getting a little teed off, going a little faster looking for it. And finally, they get down to North Tremont and they make a right and get back to the park. So those are the people who don't live in the area who are actually causing the traffic situation on South Street. And also, I've got to admit, riding my bike around, the neighbors are some of the biggest offenses as far as speeding and rolling through stop signs.
The people who live there.
People who live there in the neighborhood.
Where would you recommend that other sign be placed that says park this way or?
Right at the top of Bush.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there used to be a sign,
Okay,
big blue sign.
Just had to be a simple sign
We can-
with an arrow.
we
Yeah,
can work on that for sure.
yeah.
I'm going to shake one loose out of the feeder canal lines too, because their facilities down there and
And we talked about the 20 miles an hour. I talked with Chief Diamond originally. There's a question of illegality under New York State codes that we don't really have the authority to put up speed limit signs for 20 miles an hour, except it was a school zone or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a state law which precludes limiting the speed zones other than for school zone,
Right.
below the 30 mile an hour.
Okay.
yeah, the 20 is unusual. There's another one over by Y.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like-
And well, the other problem, if the first one, as you pull into the corner, if you're coming from the west and you make a right-hand turn into Bush, you will not see the 20 mile an hour sign. It's so close to the corner. And that's the direction most people are coming. So the next one is 3/4 of the way down the street.
Right, you don't see the other.
There's only one coming back. And that's about halfway up the street. So the sign is just ineffective as it is, whether it's legal or not.
Well, that's the question. Are we looking to encourage something that's not technically enforceable because the 20 is such an outlier?
Right. And on the weekends, the park is absolutely packed. The traffic and people who abuse the speed limit, it just amazes you to look at it, because there are people with baby carriages walking down the street. They're on both sides of the street. There's a faded white line on the right side. There's no indication like you should walk there. Some people feel better walking into the traffic so they can see it coming, and others don't have a problem. Then you get the kids on the bicycles and they just ride wherever they want. But it's just a mixed usage of the pedestrians and the cars. And it's a great resource down there. And the other thing is easy to fix, the bridge. The bridge has all these potholes. So I'm riding my bike yesterday. There's this poor guy who's a Marine veteran with a walker and his wife who's coming back up the bridge. And he's trying to get across, but you got to zig and he's got to zig and zag because of potholes. And cars are stopped in both directions while this poor guy is going up the street. You can imagine the frustration of the drivers.
Okay, so I hear that we should put a sign on the north end of Bush Street, just directing people to the park, which might help all the traffic that's
Right.
turning in circles. And that we can talk to DPW about those potholes. I know they have been working very hard to fill potholes, but they probably haven't gotten to that yet. And then does this board wish to take action on recommending speed bumps? Or would you like me to? I would like to speak with our DPW superintendent about any concerns he may have regarding the snow removal, but if you feel strongly that
Should we pass a resolution for, with the stipulation checking with DPW?
you're in favor, that you're recommending
Yeah.
that. Would you like to do that?
I also like the mayor's idea of removing them instead of having them permanent. They can move them and
If,
That's one. Yeah.
but not June 15th.
can you put a four-way stop down there with that many cars or no? I know that that's a lot of, that's my neighborhood too, and I got totaled on Bush Street, so. Yeah, so I mean, I just wonder if it's that busy, because I know there's limitation on stop signs. It has to be a certain, I almost wonder if you add one four-way stop down there somewhere.
At the bridge.
I would say right before the bridge, because then it makes it slow down before they're flying into Haviland's Cove, but.
Right.
The classic argument is that you're not supposed to use it for speed control, but if you had a history of crash
Yeah,
patterns.
I got wrapped right around a pole on Bush Street.
Right, might be safe.
Whereabouts on Bush did you have your accident?
I was on Bush and the person coming off Boylston just flew right into me and wrapped me right around telephone pole.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
It-
and I've lived there my whole life. That Bush Street's always been a problem.
Was that recent?
It was a few years ago,
A few years ago?
but yeah, but it's always been
Yeah.
it's a little different, but in the sense of
In the
rated.
on the bridge, you can get 2 cars past if they go slow and the road was paved. But you can't do two vehicles and pedestrians at the same time.
Okay, so we don't need a resolution regarding putting up some signage to wayfinding signs to get to the park, and I can talk to DPW about the bridge.
Mhm.
Would you like to make a motion to recommend speed bumps on Bush Street?
I live on Bush Street, so I don't think I should make the recommendation.
Right, you authored the report. Probably should-
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Okay. All in
Any
favor?
particular kind of, just in general, just we're making a recommendation,
Can it be
they're in
up-
favor of,
Let's have it read speed humps. And that the bump is the more parking.
We could put in even seasonal.
Or-
We could put in the word seasonal.
Can it be speed humps,
Bumps.
You can make it general. not
with the
common.
consultation of DPW and police department? We can talk to them and find out what the most appropriate form of a speed hump.
If you don't even want to be that prescriptive, you could just refer to it as traffic calming device. And then let that flesh out. I'm in agreement that speed hump is probably the most reasonable of the solutions that were being discussed. So
Okay.
I would say speed hump probably covers it.
Speed humps.
Right, one.
Okay, so there was a first and a second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So I will speak with Tom about that. Okay. Did you have some?
No.
Okay.
I just,
and just one or multiple?
no, I think we landed on two.
Two.
Two being potentially more effective than one.
Okay.
And while we're on the subject, going back to the gentleman who spoke, who's recently moved on to Knight Street, he's absolutely correct about the 4-way stop at the end of Staples, Knight and Haviland. Got it in your mind? Because the stop sign for Haviland is too far back from the intersection. So people, that's still Glens Falls. If you go all the way down Haviland, you're crossing the Queensbury.
Mhm.
The stop sign should be moved closer to the corner.
The Haviland stop sign.
Yeah,
Almost highway intersection.
yeah. And they've stopped. They've done the correct thing, but you can't see them, and they pull out, and all of a sudden you're there.
Is that something that we can just direct DPW to move the sign, or do we need a?
Yeah, I mean, stop signs, their locations aren't anything that would be in like the code or
Prescribed.
anything, right? So I think if you just want to really just move a stop sign, I don't think that there's anything that really would need to be had.
Do you want to make a motion to recommend that, and we can let them know the board is requesting that?
I make a motion
Okay.
that we move the stop sign on Haviland closer to the corner.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second that.
Okay.
Haviland stop sign at the four-way intersection.
4-way, almost 5.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will make that recommendation. I think now we move on to safety reports. And first we have the police department. We have a written report.
Chief Diamond's on vacation. I emailed it to everyone.
You got this.
For new business, July 3rd, we had the symphony detail, we had a couple of officers, a light control officer, at Cranmere Park, we didn't have any issues during that. Chief Diamond and public social worker Hafner attended the New York State Addiction Service and Support, at Town Hall meeting at the Crandall Library on the 22nd of June. And, Recruit House was sworn in and began session 82 of the Zone 5 Police Academy for July 2nd, so that's all we have. You have any questions?
Question, where are we as far as manpower?
I believe right now we are 4.
Do we have any viable candidates?
We just got a new list. Our detective division's actively looking at the list and processing backgrounds right now, and we're hoping to move forward with some
Okay,
decisions.
good.
When you figure out that, Assistant Chief, when you figure out your speed thing, would you be able to email it to us?
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
With an explanation?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Chief Bascu.
I emailed my report as well, if there's no questions on that. The symphony, we had an ambulance, an engine, 2 ambulances, an engine. 6 personnel there. We didn't have any issues either. I think we may have 1 call, maybe, if I was looking at the reports. But it seemed to go off well organized. Staffing wise, I have 3 signed up for the fire academy out of the new hires that the board's approved. Go in August, and the other 2 are going to Hudson Valley Paramedic Program, so we're pretty much hopefully after this evening up to full staff and promotions where they need to be, and as far as we can at this point, I guess all the openings will be taken care of. So I appreciate the help in that. I know we really pushed really fast to get that taken care of, and you guys have been great, so.
We expect to be invited to the Christmas party.
I'll take you all, I guess.
There you go. Any questions?
Good.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Chief.
Does anyone have any other regular business?
You want to just make motions to approve police and fire? We didn't make
Sure.
motions to
Yeah,
approve
yeah.
their reports, that's all.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve both the police and fire department monthly reports?
I second it.
All in favor? Those are approved. At this time, I will ask for a resolution to go into executive session. Let's see language in here.
Oh.
Taylor, you're here, would you please?
Play the recording, Steve.
Subsection 105, 1, to discuss matters pertaining to an employee's employment status, hire, termination.
Okay. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
No.
Okay, we are in executive session. We will go into the conference room.
And then we can get specific. Wait one.